Hey, this is Vic. I am the producer of Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. I am also known as Producer Vic. For those of you who are fans of the show, you have probably heard me before. I just want to let you know that you can find out more about Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi and Kevin and George and all that marvelous stuff by going to BusyDadsDoSci-Fi.com, or you can give them a follow at Instagram at Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. Kind of marvelous, isn't it? The way it's all Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. Oh, which reminds me, you can also email us at busydadsdosci-fi@gmail.com. And, if you want to subscribe to us, we're on iTunes, we're on the Google Play, the Google Podcast. We're also on Spotify, which is kind of amazing. I had to cook up a special deal with them for that. But, maybe drop by, give a subscription, and if you really like us, you could give us a rating or even a review, and hey, that'll keep us all in seltzer and ice cream, which the boys love, And that's all we're trying to do is bring you the best sci-fi podcast delivered by a couple of busy dads, And of course, me doing my part, producing, and being named Vic. Thank you very much.
Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi.
There.
Harry Potter and the Perverted Child.
Harry Potter and the Dangerous Liaisons.
It's a cautionary tale about
perverted children.
Your hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I call my hands, the perverted children. I look at them, I'm
You
like,
child, sit out tonight.
Stop it. That is not the way we act.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a party, and you ruined it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm George.
I'm Kevin. Oh, we're doing that now?
I think we should.
Is this part of the lease?
Start. Well,
We have to
identify ourselves legally at the beginning of each podcast now.
That lousy judge, man.
Yeah.
That sucked.
We got well, let's just call it as it is. We got booted from our last studio.
Mm-hmm.
Something about
Is it
something about
an order of restraining? Maybe that
it's a
if I am to quote the Stargirl from Teen Titan Go.
an order of restraint. Oh, is that what you just did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was certainly a legal decree that was thrust upon us with magic hands.
I love my decrees thrusted.
I love most things thrusted upon me. But so we are no longer allowed back in Highland Park, California anymore. But it's fine. It's fine because like everything, when the world closes a door, it breaks a window for you. So
yeah, which is kind of how we got in that fix in Highland Park.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, there was something
Ventilation
about
was lousy. To our credit,
something
the
about
ventilation was lousy.
the improper use of the space and the ventilation. Yeah, it was terrible. I'd get headaches every time.
Well, I learned you should not run a window unit AC just on the floor in the middle of a room.
Yeah, and you sure
It is not. Bad.
Yeah,
bad.
and you certainly shouldn't stand right in front of it and just breathe deeply for 45 minutes at a time.
Well, the mix between the Legionnaire's disease and then the hot exhaust blending with the AC. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the other end of it now, I feel like I am immune to most modern diseases.
Well, we came through something.
We did. We
Surmounted the odds.
and we
George.
we learned a lot about ourselves in the process. And again, hey, silver lining. We find ourselves now in a luxurious studio in none other than Burbank, California.
Yeah. That's a nice ring when you say recording live from our Burbank studio.
Recording live from our studios in Burbank, in the shadow of the Hollywood sign.
Yep. And if you're from Paducah, you have no idea that you cannot be in the shadow of the Hollywood sign.
You don't
if
know.
you are in Burbank.
You don't know that what I said is not true at all. Coming to you from the top of the Sears Tower.
Fun fact, the Hollywood sign used to be 13 letters. It would say Hollywoodland, and damsels who did not get acting careers would plunge off the D and commit suicide.
Oh.
And so they struck the last 4 letters, and it is now Hollywood.
Get at it. That is why they got rid of the land?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought that it had just fallen into because originally it was an advertisement for a real estate development.
Up on those, yeah. Kenneth Anger wrote a really cool book about Hollywood stories.
Did you ever see the movie Hollywoodland?
No.
No, detailing the last days of actor George Reeves, who played Superman.
I thought it might have detailed the trajectory of plunging damsels.
They jumped off the D, huh?
Yep.
Just gonna leave that out there.
Hashtag restraining order.
Yeah, we're not allowed to make those jokes anymore, people.
Hey, is it really abusive if it's verbal?
Depends on how old they are.
Yeah. Oh,
or
Harry Potter and the perverted
Harry Potter.
sons.
Harry Potter and the consistent emotional abuse. Get under that stairwell, kid. Mm-hmm. Magic my ass.
How you grow character.
How you grow up to battle an evil wizard, right?
Who's actually your father.
No?
That's not the same
different.
storyline?
Now that's sci-fi, according to some people.
Is it? I don't really know.
I don't know,
I think
man.
it's pop culture. Pop
Culture can be sci-fi.
Let's not split hairs.
That's also sci-fi, splitting hairs, if you do it with a laser.
Yeah.
Huh?
You know what my boy asked me reading Seth MacFarlane's Venom?
What?
He looks up and he goes,
Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane. He goes, what's heroin? And I go,
No way.
it's a lady hero. And he goes, no, heroin. And Nora said, what? And that Spider-Man Epic collection has been confiscated.
That is now in the heroin box in the closet.
Oh man, such a good run.
Oh well.
You know,
what are we talking about there?
I fear I've destroyed my child's young mind already.
Sooner or later, he's gonna see the destructive consequences of heroin in the lives of every musician who died at 27 years. Oh wait, but they created such good music beforehand.
Well, fentanyl. They'll all be 13-year-old musicians.
I don't even know what that stuff is. I'm not hip enough. I don't know. But
you know what? It's not a suppository, George.
You promise? Anyway.
Well, I don't know.
We've been pretty busy. I mean, life
Busy.
has been some level of in session for us for a while now. I mean, we flat out missed a podcast.
You might say life is incestuous.
Session?
Incestuous.
Yes, it's incestuous.
Yes.
Harry Potter and the incestuous ant.
Ants.
Oh, ants. I said ant.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I hear what I want to hear.
I know you do. That's fine. So do our listeners.
Yeah. Thanks for hearing us.
Which is not
now.
our show.
Don't press stop yet.
That's the one excuse we get written in for people who don't down. I hear what I want to hear. Click. And that's it. But we've arrived here, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for Burbank Studios. Thank you very much for taking the trip with us once again. We've definitely, life has gotten a bit lifey, and we've been having a blast lately. But we're back at it now, and we are coming at you from a kind of fresh and exciting new experience that kind of goes hand in hand with our new studios. And that is, recently me and Kevin have been invited to...
Partnership is more of a word.
It is more of like a mentor.
Part of inviting, there are invitations in this partnership.
I don't think that's reading too much into it at all.
Not at all.
No, it's certainly not delusional.
Act as if.
I will.
You gotta act as if.
I will fake it.
Till I make it
onto,
continue to fake it
onto the Fox Studios lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anyone reviews the security camera footage of us pulling up into that garage and checks us out, you looked handicapped when you got out of the car, even when you parked in a handicapped space.
You would not be the first person that day to tell me that I looked handicapped. So I appreciate that.
The only thing that's going to throw them off is I don't know why you said both of us need to look handicapped. So the footage is going to show two guys that pull up into a parking lot, a handicapped parking spot, and get out and kind of do that. You had like a zombie walk thing you
I
were
was
doing.
practicing it.
I don't know, what was that, palsy you were
No,
trying to
no,
do?
no, no. I mean,
But-
nobody's going to believe that
and then
one
we just kind
handicap.
of limped out of the range of the camera and then walked regular.
Yeah. Well, no one's
the-
going to believe that a handicapped guy is hanging out with a guy who walks normally.
Yeah.
So we had to put on.
Really
we both
make it
had
look
to
real.
Make it look real. Sell the whole
Most
bit.
handicapped people have a placard or something, and I think that's the risk we took.
That's kind of the unofficial
risk.
thing. I told you that I wanted to make one before we left. We ran out of time. We were at that barbecue and we were having a good time. I had about 4 or 5 LaCroix. So I wasn't in my right mind.
The bubbles go right to your head.
And they were coconut too, so I don't know what kind of chemicals were
Just
in there.
spray a couple pints of Hawaiian Tropic into each batch.
A little squirt in there at the end there, and here you go, pal. You know what I respect about the coconut LaCroix?
What?
Is it's the only LaCroix that actually has like a distinct
Hardcore flavor Yes.
to it. It's the
You're
only
like, are
one
you
that's like
how could this be natural?
you crack it open and you immediately are like, you don't even have to sip it. You're just like, oh, that's coconut.
Yeah, it suns out, buns out from a get-go.
You just splash a little on your face and you're fine.
Regarding the meta rationalization about the handicap space, when many of the spaces in the garage say reserved and you can't park there, but you're clearly VIP, a handicap space is usually as close as other VIP spaces are.
That's true.
And that's to get that full feeling. That's why we did it, Your Honor.
Yeah, well, I actually thought those spaces said red served, which is my legal
Red
name.
served.
Ready served.
Ready served?
I was born.
No
I
one's
was
going to believe
I was
that.
born Rediford served.
Tell them about the partnership, though.
Okay, so we were approached by the president of Fox Studios.
Or someone who might be able to Google his name.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was wearing kind of a frumpled suit for what I would assume an executive president of a multi-billion-dollar studio would
It's
look
how
like.
the nouveau rich are doing it.
They
these days.
try to look intentionally homeless. This was on Pico Boulevard as I was doing my daily walk by crying at Fox Studios at the what my life could have been sort of time of day. And this guy who said he was the president of Fox Studios, he came up to me. He asked me if I would like to go inside and retrieve his daughter from inside Fox Studios. And I said, what do I get out of it? He said, well, you get to go see a free screening of this movie. I said, yeah, I'll absolutely do that for you. We didn't find the daughter, but we did get to see a movie.
We did. It was good. Partnership, though.
Partnership.
Yeah. We'll be back.
Try and keep us
Hopefully
out.
the footage. Just try. Just try. Now that we know.
Yeah.
I mean, those security guards. I mean, they asked for our names, but did they really ask for our names?
You know, my little guest badge did not have my name on it.
That's right.
I
That's
felt
'cause
a
you
little
were a guest
cheated.
of me.
I was a guest of
Yeah.
you. I was a guest of Kevin, and we ended up having a really good time. We got to
Great
go see.
time.
Yeah.
That guy was very gracious.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Good deal. But we got into the studios. Remember the whole popcorn debacle?
Well, you had said
Didn't
on
I?
the way there
That there would be popcorn
that there would
in
be
an open
popcorn
bar.
at an open bar.
Yeah.
We got there. There was a
was
big
a-
sign that said "No food or drink allowed."
And what, you think there's a fucking open bar? You scumbags?
Yeah.
That was an explicit sign.
No, that was the subtext. That was like
Yeah.
the subtext, and that was the look I got. You know, it was
I
funny.
thought maybe there was Oscars up there. They kind of looked like taps.
Like taps, like you could pull
like
one.
free root beer, like out the
Yeah.
ass or sodas.
I think if you pulled the right one, that entire wall spun around, and that got you into the snack lounge.
I thought it
area.
was funny that it actually lifted off and you almost took it.
Almost, yes,
Yeah.
certainly almost,
Almost
and not
would not have-
and not. It's sitting in my
not
living room
really.
right now.
'Cause-
Certainly,
'cause, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of course you're the director of photography for Titanic.
We did walk by. I mean, I was kind of amazed at the lax security as we're walking by, like 8 Academy Awards just sitting out in the open.
Pretty sure those are dummy awards.
Oh, you think so?
Mock awards.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's disappointing then. But not
Like, who's
disappointing.
like, you know what? I don't want my Academy Award in my house. Will you please put it on the shelf? of a theater which has no popcorn nor an open bar.
What exactly was the name of that theater? The Zanuck? Zerzik?
Zanuck.
Zanuck.
The Xanax Theater.
The Jerry Zanuck Theater. As you know, Jerry Zanuck, multi-million-dollar developer, created Hollywoodland and was responsible for the murder of many women
Damsels.
by pushing them off of the D.
Starlets.
Yeah.
Starlets.
And,
wannabe.
Wait, hold on.
stars.
Wait.
The ones. Where are we?
We are. I told you we're in Burbank.
Burbank Studios.
Burbank Studios. Who are we?
Are we there yet?
I don't know. I mean, I think we kind of have to be.
God, yeah, really under the gun on this one, man.
You know, under some type of a gun, maybe some sort of a laser rifle on the moon. Even.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
You think it was cool?
Yeah, that was well
coulda-
shot.
They probably tell those stories.
If you want to dive through 10 different manga books,
manga or manga? Candygram for manga.
I was
Candygram for manga.
Pretty good. I was talking to a friend of mine who is steeped in manga, and he pronounced it manga.
I bet he fucking did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What other people who are steeped in things pronounce things maybe different than others? Would some say controversy?
Well, like those fancy Hawaiians like to say Hawaii and not Hawaii, like I say it. You know,
Double I. Wasn't a syphilis trimmer.
Kauai, yeah. No, I don't. No, syphilis. The syphilis is gone. No, that syphilis. Yeah. I wiped that out with all the glue that I ingested in the move.
Yeah.
All I got to worry about now is the diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got invited by the president of Fox. We went to go see a cool movie. In the process of seeing that, we transformed ourselves, and we are, for now,
Biomechanical damsels dating shiny Fatfaces.
He did have a fat face.
He did. Yeah. Lovable, though. Like almost 80s. What was that?
Yeah.
Who was the fat-faced guy with that kind of medium-length hair, which somehow is back now?
So are you thinking like Andrew McCarthy? Or?
No. Sitcom. Kids show.
So Blossom?
Lish.
Like Joey Lawrence?
Maybe no, but Sub
Joey Lawrence.
Yeah.
Matthew Lawrence, who is his little brother.
No.
No?
I'm talking about Subby Lawrence. Famous blues singer.
Famous. Subby Lawrence.
Played a mean game of dominoes.
That's what known for that gravelly voice and his fantastic bassoon playing. Yeah, Subby Lawrence. Okay, once in a while, man, we really managed to knock it out of the park, and that one's almost unrecoverable. Like I'm gonna have some issues getting back into the game now, Subby. So anyway, I think I know who you're talking about. But
he would have like a band.
Yes. not
so
helping.
His motorcycle sucked.
That was the first thing I thought.
That was
terrible design.
Horrible.
Giant Cheerio. Like, to the point where it's so big that I was like, how do you get on and off of that
with a
thing?
Kawasaki Ninja thruster.
Yeah.
Like chassis.
Yeah. At one point, she jumps on it, and it's sort of like, that was awkward. So he's a classic motorcycle guy. This, we didn't even mention what movie we saw. We just mentioned.
Well, they knew it when they clicked on it. But it was
this. The manga does not have the first word in the title. The manga is simply called.
The first word is
the name of the girl.
Oh.
So the manga is just called Battle Angel.
Battle Angel.
Yes. So, Kevin.
Yeah.
Have you ever Battle Angel?
Oh, ALITA.
Oh yeah! Oh, you did it. You came back in it. ALITA Battle Angel, man. Directed by Robert Rodriguez.
You might know that we don't talk right now. Man.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You might know, listener, that George normally does a segue. Has Burbank taken the segue out of you?
No, I think time and lack of effort have
boredom.
taken the segue out of me.
Or did Subby Lawrence take it right out of you? I think Subby did.
He's got a way. His magical blues have a way of making you forget.
So you were saying that this was a Robert Rodriguez film?
Yes, sir.
That James Cameron is somehow in on?
James Cameron produced it.
Okay.
I think that's a common theme now with James Cameron. He has been meaning to make this movie for a while.
Yes.
And Robert Rodriguez came along. Robert Rodriguez, listeners, you may know, he is sort of the computer environment guy. Sin City, Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For, From Dusk Till Dawn, and of course the movies that he said he made for his kids, which were the Spy Kids films.
And then you did the Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Did Shark Boy and Lava Girl as well. Yeah, I saw the first Spy Kids, but I haven't seen any of the kids' movies.
Robert Rodriguez is a Spanish man?
Yeah, he directed Desperado with Antonio Banderas. Yeah, which was actually pretty good. Him and Quentin Tarantino used to team up, and yeah, I like Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, he wrote a very accessible book called A Rebel Without a Crew, which was about basically filmmaking when all you've got is what money you could throw together yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is so real.
Real.
Big Austin guy. Big Austin, Texas guy.
Yeah. So, we liked the movie. It was a cool movie.
We liked.
You're singing a different tune. When
No,
we
no.
fled that
Don't.
parking lot to get away from that handicapped space because that security guy was coming after us, we were talking about it in a different way.
I would have said
George,
anything. I would have said anything to save my life in that moment. But
I was the only one in the car.
yeah,
I don't
know.
get it. What?
I was so confused at the time. But I did. I really, really liked this movie. There were a lot of flat out stupid things in it, though. You know?
But like Robert, for some reason, when it clicked for me that Robert Rodriguez made this, and I saw Spy Kids in my mind because that was the most recent movies I've seen by him, I went, bah, it all snapped into place.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then it kind of made sense. Like we are in a city called Iron City. Great manga name, right? It all kind of fits. Manga. George is giving me the laser death look
it's
over
manga.
there.
Manga.
From manga.
Don't.
Come movies.
From manga come movies. Especially this one. Yeah.
So, Iron City's there, and we have a bazaar, a Middle Eastern cyborg bazaar, which has big screens in it. There are RoboCop kind of centurions walking through.
It looks like a mishmash of like New York Street on the Warner Brothers lot, and every type of little
with the Indiana Jones bazaar kind of
totally
thing.
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
And then everyone had a cyborg kind of part.
Yes.
In some of these scenes, and then there's like a dude with blue Liberty spikes, and he looks basically like a punk rocker. And the first thing it says is we're in the year 2536. And my mind was like, would there be a punk rocker
Just
in
like
2536? I mean, I guess if it's cyberpunk, we get to keep them in.
Yeah, and there were also, one of the elements of this movie is that there's a big sport that everybody loves, and there were just meatheads in yellow jerseys, not like you'd see at a Lakers game now. There was a lot of stuff that was like directly translated to things we'd know from now. I agreed with something you said where I could have done without the 2536 tag. Like it's super unnecessary. We're in an unknown future of the planet. You don't really need to pin a year to it. So the world as it is kind of dirty, kind of grimy. People seemingly don't care about their own flesh and blood. It's like, you can just replace a missing arm very, very easily. You can replace an entire body pretty easily. And a lot of people have cybernetic implants and complete replacements at their own will. This Iron City is on the ground. Above them is a city called Zalem, which is the last of the Sky Cities. About 300 years earlier, there was a giant war and is referred to as the Fall.
Which was the Mars people versus the Earth people.
We are told there was a federation of Mars humans. So at some point, like, humans left Earth, went to Mars, established a colony, which established a government, which established a federation, and at some point, Mars and Earth are at war with each other. And that brought about the Fall. I'm assuming it's called the Fall because all the cities in the sky fell. Yeah. And we're left with just Zalem. Generally, nobody from Zalem comes down to Iron City. Occasionally, that seems to happen.
You ain't never getting up. What's that like?
Yeah.
Well, so I've read, Alistair Reynolds has a book with large towers where the angels live, and they are a jacked up species. That's a standalone called, I don't remember anymore. In his
Some interesting title.
Blue Remembered Earth series, we have different colonies at war with one another in many federations of folks who've taken their different progresses through.
You can certainly come down from Zalem. But yeah, if you're not born on Zalem, you ain't never getting up there.
And even
in fact,
the game, you get a golden ticket. The champion of the game every couple of years gets to go to Zalem.
Allegedly, we don't know.
It smelled like a scam from
like
the get-go,
yeah.
right? Because we've seen many sham for sport and profit power situations like this. I'm not going to hit them all, but Total Recall... And then the game showy feel of what's the movie?
Running Man.
Running Man.
Yeah, completely.
Running Man has the prize, right?
Prize.
You lose your conviction or whatever. And then there was sort of an idiocracy sort of video screen presence in the towns, which brought me into like it being way closer to 2536 or something. But
there's been a whole lot of you do this and you get a one-way ticket out of town type of things where it ends up being revealed like, oh, actually that one-way ticket out of town is in a body bag or whatever like that. And that's kind of what this does smell like. But you can seemingly be kicked out of Zalem if you... Dyson Ito, who's one of the main characters, mentions that he had to leave because his daughter was ill. You know, she was not accepted in there. Did you get that was the case, or was it that...
I didn't get any of that case, as a matter of fact.
He mentions it quickly, but I didn't know if it was because, she's imperfect, get out of our town, or if it was he needed to come down to Iron City to, like, seek treatment for her or something like that, you know?
And so there's a guy, Dyson Ito, and he is a very charitable cyber doctor.
Christoph Waltz plays him, and he's great. He's fantastic. He's who we meet first. He's in a junkyard looking for spare parts.
And he finds ALITA's top 1/4, which will include brain, shoulder, and heart cavity.
Incredibly advanced heart. It's mentioned as being an antimatter reactor that could power all of Iron City. For years, she is extremely advanced technology. And that's where the movie starts off, is with Dyson Ito and ALITA. The design of ALITA is cool because she is a robot. They could play with the manga elements of design, where she's got the big eyes and the very pointy, childish face. So that was I kind of dug
She
that.
actually became very human. The stills and the posters were like, this is going to be weird to look at, but she was totally likable. It was totally awesome. She's a total ass kicker. It reminded me of the female version of many of the Richard K. Morgan guys that we have, who you're basically going to throw in a tough plot, and they're going to really slickly kick their ass out of it. And part of that, I think, now that I'm recognizing it, imprinted on me the need for this movie to finish.
Right. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we will spoil this. It was not until we are deep into this movie that I had the realization that we're not going to get this entire story.
They just can't do it like gracefully.
Yeah. Like, there's no way they could maybe rush through this in 15 minutes.
Like she would have had to flip over a fence, decapitate Nova, the bad guy, and the credits roll. Like
that's it.
Like,
yeah.
Like we know you're awesome. Part of me wondered why she was not able to. There's a presence called Nova. He's the dude who leads the city. He's everywhere. We're talking biomonitoring, video monitoring.
Played by Edward Norton.
And he's the nemesis. It turns out she is one of these Mars-designed robots that was like a berserker-class robot. And it was the last thing you wanted to run into when you were back in this war.
Yeah. So she, in and of herself, she is 300 years old. And despite being some of the most advanced technology that Dyson Ito, who lives, eats, and breathes cybernetics, he has ever come across, she's still like from a bygone era. She has lost technology and is a total ass kicker. The fight scenes, the action is over the top and awesome. And like there's a moment where there's a chase throughout the city and throughout this roller motorball arena that is so spectacular that I found myself like imagining the illustrations that led up to it. Everything. It was so well choreographed and cool. And there's a lot of moments like that in this movie. But yeah, so the goal of her goal as both a soldier and as ALITA now is to kill this guy Nova. And it wasn't until the last 15 minutes of the movie that I realized, like, oh, we've already clocked in like 2 hours and 10 minutes. This ain't happening.
Yeah.
So I wanted a little more,
Like I'm like doing the math. Like, will it be 2 years? Like 3 years? Like I'll go see this story again. I really like where I am right now while I'm watching the movie. I'll go see him finish this, but who knows if we'll ever get to see that movie. And that's what was a little tough. It wasn't high stakes enough is how I felt about it. Like I would have loved to see how you take a Richard K. Morgan model. You always know the guy's going to do it. There's a point when he gets tied down and maybe he's going to be destroyed, but something happens because it's a great crime story. And I was very curious to how she's going to do it. So much so that I did go to LAPL, the LA Public Library website, and I want to go get these stories and read them.
Okay, cool. So, now, and with that in mind, with the idea that this it wasn't high stakes enough, comes sort of one of the problems that I did have with it, which is sort of we waste a lot of time on her romance with the fat face kid, who's this local biker named Hugo who rides that terrible motorcycle, and there's it's completely forgivable and totally innocent and even kind of sweet in some scenes, but it's a little distracting. And I would have loved if the moment when she's in the bar with the other hunter warriors and she's giving that speech, if that had more impact, because we had more time getting to know her as a hunter warrior and the other people there, because they were cool and I wanted more of, like, I loved Zapan, he's this one character. He's got a cool design. He's got this cybernetic back tattoo, basically.
Like an Aztec calendar.
Yeah, just cool stuff that we only get to see quick glimpses of because there's just not a ton of room for character development. They did a really, really good job building the world, and they told a straightforward story, I guess. Yeah, I wanted there to be more impact in all of it. I wanted to care more about it, And that was really the only...
As you said, you only wanted to watch one movie.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I only wanted to watch this one movie. I wanted there to be a resolution at the end, and so when the last shot is Nova and it's Edward Norton in a mad scientist wig, I'm sort of like,
which is so Spy Kids Robert Rodriguez-y. Like if the guy's gonna look bad, he's gonna look like
he's gonna look
right?
super bad. Yeah. And at some point we got into this area with movies where it is entirely acceptable to put forth as a first movie an unfinished movie. It's entirely acceptable to just go, all right, yeah, there's gonna be a sequel. That's just it is what it is.
But there are no guarantees. I mean, this movie I think made a lot of money by our standards, but I don't think did well by movie standards.
It did well, but it was one of the worst performing President's Day weekends. So it did well for its weekend, but this weekend did not do well. If that makes any sense.
It does.
And
those are those guys in the boardrooms.
Yeah.
Who are going to break someone's knees because of that, right?
And they all look like
they're going to toss another damsel off the Hollywood
They all
side.
look like Zappan,
Yeah.
too. They're all made of metal and have tiny metal beards.
Tiny metal goatees. So one thing that jumped out in my mind then, this character Nova, who's omniscient, is up against a robot who's, I guess, got this super powerful heart, but I'm still down here in the 21st century thinking about electricity and stuff.
Right.
And I'm wondering why at some point Nova didn't press a button, a hole opens up in the floor, and she goes into some cell where it shuts down her heart. Or why he did not just eliminate her.
Well, in a way,
he seemed too powerful.
That's the thing. He's a cool character. Is also I loved about Nova that we never actually see him speak. We see him speaking only through other people because he has this ability to kind of hijack the minds or implants or whatever it is of certain people in his service. So we see him do it with this character Vecta, with Garishka, who's this massive, played by Jackie Earle Haley in motion capture, this massive cybernetic like behemoth, and some cool fight scenes there. I thought he was cool, and yeah, I would have liked more of that. But I also, along with what you're saying, like I thought he would be able to just like punch doot 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 a little button, and there we go, Alita's gone.
Yeah.
He seemed too powerful.
We know stories, and again, this probably plays out. I kept scaling it down to if I was reading this in a graphic novel, I wouldn't be so sharply scrutinizing it. I think I'd be flipping pages and going, okay, there's a bad guy, and there's a love scene, and
right. But I mean, again, the graphic novel has the luxury of being able to tell it over, 6 different books or whatever the case is.
There's a lot of them too. There's prequel style stories. There's a whole Mars adventures,
and there is a movie
as
well.
Death sentence thing that she goes through. Like so, there's a life to live.
There is a 1993 Japanese animated movie as well called Battle Angel that I am kind of interested in seeing.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wonder if it tells the whole story.
that'd be cool to find out. But yeah, I mean, at no point did I feel like, oh damn it, I went and saw this cool movie at the Fox Studios, and now I regret it. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
Sticking an Oscar down my pants and running for it.
Well, you got to put it all the way down into your legs and not let it sit
boots?
right into
that why
right
you were wearing
the front.
boots?
That's why I was wearing the oversized boots.
Yeah.
I got 2 or 3 Oscars in those.
Yeah.
Things.
You
weren't.
You put Oscars in them? Not
put
you got
Oscars
2 or 3
in them.
Oscars wearing those boots.
No. I only have 1 Oscar. Yeah.
That's your goldfish.
That's it. Yeah, got Oscar the goldfish. And the problem was you put your Oscar in the back of your pants, and they caught on to you immediately.
We were lucky.
Oh, poor Fatface.
He gets it.
He gets it.
Good for him. He doesn't need to be going in the next movie.
Good for them, I would say. That's one of those things where you go, oh, they didn't have to do that, and they did. Good job. Bold choice there, killing off
The Gods of the Wire.
shiny fat face. The Gods of the Wire.
You remember that quote?
No.
The guy who made The Wire on HBO talked about how the Gods of the Wire weren't just going to spare people.
Right, yeah.
Because you liked them.
Yeah. So Stringer Bell's got to go.
Yeah. Who was the jack-up guy?
Omar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to whistle there.
George didn't learn how.
I'm not very good at whistling. I'm not. It's one of my. It's my only flaw, really.
Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect in every way except for my robotic back tattoo. Well, good night, nurse.
Good night.